Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? So I have a new book review and that is on The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordon. This is the first book in the Kane Chronicles series. As you guys know, Rick Riordon wrote Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, which I really enjoyed. Let's get into the review. Let's talk about what the book is all about. Our two main characters in The Red Pyramid are the Kane siblings. We have Carter Kane, who is the older brother, 14 years old, and Sadie Kane, who is the younger sister, 12 years old. Their family life is a bit complicated. Their mother passed away when they were quite young. Ever since then, Carter has been accompanying his dad all over the world. Their dad is an Egyptologist, jet-setting from one place to another. Carter really wishes for a stable home life, and that's basically what Sadie has. Sadie has been living with their grandparents who reside in London, and it's only twice a year during the summer and the winter that they both come together. Sadie has an opportunity to hang out with her father. On this particular visit on Christmas Eve, he decides to take them to the British Museum to check out the famous Rosetta Stone. Sadie is being picked up by Carter and their dad, and strange, mysterious people have been following them, meeting some really crafty people along the way. When they reach the British Museum to check out this old rock, things get really interesting. Sadie and Carter's dad unleash 5 Egyptian gods, one of them trapping him in Osiris's coffin. You know, the usual. That's basically where the plot takes off, guys. We have Sadie and Carter witnessing their dad perform this crazy ritual with magic. Sadie and Carter basically have to save the world and their dad. And both of the Kane siblings start to discover very magical, interesting powers. That's what it's all about, guys. It's insane, it's intense. Very fun and entertaining read. So let's talk about the characters, because the characters are really cool. Let's talk about Carter Kane. This is my first time kind of reading a main character who is African American. You know, it's just really great to see diverse characters in books, and especially if they're main characters. I thought that was awesome. Carter in this book is more sensitive, more sensible, and matured quite quickly. Very straight edge kind of character. A little bit different from male lead characters I've read before. And then we have on the opposite side Sadie Kane, who is 12 years old, and she is spunky and sassy, and she wears combat boots and has red streaks in her hair, and her personality and characteristic traits are quite different from female characters in books. And so I thought her personality and characteristics were really refreshing to read about. And their dynamic as siblings was really fun, funny, entertaining. They bicker a lot, they snide at each other's remarks, they banter. You know, their relationship does have a shade of predictability to it. You could see how their relationship starts off in the beginning of the book and how it will develop by the end of the book, but even so, it's still entertaining and funny to read about. They talk in the way I wish I could have talked when I was younger. I don't think, you know, their dialogue is realistic in how actual kids talk. It's much more clever and wittier and sarcastic. If the kids really talk like that, you know, I have yet to hear it, but you know, it's still fun reading about it. A lot of great side characters. There's some mascot characters. Khufu the baboon. We have Doughboy the little shabti servant they have around with them. Oh, also the Egyptian gods. Kind of reminded me of Disney's Hercules a little bit. How the Grecian gods had this really contemporary, fun, cool feel to them. That's kind of similar to the Egyptian gods in The Red Pyramid. So I thought that was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the plot next, guys. Plot is insanely fast-paced, action-packed. Reading this book kind of reminded me of reading Gone. There was so much action, so much stuff going on that I had to put it down at times because I had to take a breather, you know, kind of take everything in. Things aren't blowing up or there are people after the Kane siblings. You're learning about Egyptian mythology and the culture. I love Egypt and I love learning about Egypt. If it's on the National Geographic Channel, I have to watch it. Some aspects of the mythology I was familiar with, some that weren't. The story is quite long. The plot could have been shortened by taking out some of the side adventures, subplots in the book, but for the most part, I thought it was still pretty hilarious. It was very focused on the action and the story. Finding their father and saving the world, really. Something interesting was always happening. So let's talk about the writing next of The Red Pyramid. Rick Riordon's writing style is very simple, easy to read. My only thing while reading this book that I noticed, the book is written between the two perspectives of the Kane siblings. We have Sadie's perspective and Carter's perspective. There were moments in the book where I couldn't distinguish whose voice was talking at the moment, and I had to remind myself at the top of the page who was talking. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordon a readable rating. I really thought it was a lot of fun. Very kid-friendly, has that kid appeal to it. Kind of a mix of Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. There's magic everything. There's magic spells, magic wands, magic animals, there's magic furniture, there's magic statues, there's magic everywhere. Those two references kind of stood out to me the most. I wouldn't go far to say as it's a ripoff of Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I want to see how the series develops, where the second book kind of directs us. So that's my review, guys, on The Red Pyramid. I'm definitely going to check out the second book sometime in the future. I will talk to you guys later and have a good one.